Soulful, inspiration, soulful, inspiration, a little education, soulful, inspiration, soulful, inspiration, a little education. You love. Uninspired and tired is a bad combination, and I'm sad to say that's a dark situation, but I'm thinking of you, so I'm glad to say I wrote a letter on behalf of how I feel today. 7 a.m. in the morning, ain't been to sleep. It's been a night type long and a rough type week. I'm meditating my life on the whole, pondering the where, when, how, ifs I can gain control. It's like a spin of the wheel or a roll of the die. They say that you can be a winner at the game of life, but I know the house don't play to lose, so you better know the math, how to make the move. See, I'm a student of the study, how to proper pursue a blunt portion of the profits produced, paying my dues, so I follow the lolly and avoid the fools. But this is trial by fire, so you must stay cool. One rule: envy is a powerful tool. Spine all times, everything you do. That way, when the Indians ear get act cool, you can crack those crabs and continue to move. You know, 7 a.m. in the morning, I'm open up. Long night, ain't been to sleep. I grab my pencil and pad, I'm open. I hope you feel me. Remember back to the slenderest times when we pitched for the pretty penny nickel a dime, before the world seemed crooked and the gutter was fine, when there was good hood living and a peace of mind. Now that's over. Life will make a grown man sober, head aching, hanging over, feeling funny inside. We never knew the world worked on a bogus design to keep a brother buried deep, broken down and blind. Better still, man, is ill when you look to find there's a chance to advance, most heads deny. Like a dream and a slice of the proverbial pie, we will remain to reside in the ghetto of pride. Ignorance is pure bliss, and these days provide plenty of it to keep a poor man pacified. I try to put him on the business of knowledge applied, but that's a pickle of a deal that's sour inside. But 7 a.m. in the morning, I'm open up. Long night, ain't been to sleep. I grab my pencil and pad, I'm open. I hope you feeling me, man. So many guys that I grew with died, resorted to doing crime in turn doing the time. I can hardly better speak to childhood friends and find every exchange features a fella falling the wayside. That's ill, but then it keeps a brother on field mode, mentally locked and loaded, ready to deal with any form of friction you can fathom the feel. In a world that wheels drama and fires at will, it bust from dawn to dusk and aim to kill. Cause a lot of souls shook and afraid for real. So instead turn their head, tuck tail and chill, in the hopes not to cope, but that's whack. See, you and I are like a different breed, and we bring to the balance such a desperate need. The eagerness to elevate and evolve the scene. A better space, a better time indeed. Sincerely.
It was the voice of a courageous explorer, a man dedicated to the pursuit of man's knowledge and the expansion of his horizons.
Good morning. Here is Nathan Ivey.
My friends, welcome back. I see already many people inside the Chop Shop. Good morning to you. It's as if we never left. Good morning, welcome back. It's my favorite part. Today is Wednesday, June 22nd, 2016. We are broadcasting live from the city of Cincinnati on what hopefully will be a beautiful day for everyone. My name is Nathan Ivey, Nathaniel Ivey. My pleasure to be with you as always. We get together every morning, 7 a.m., and we get together for an hour or so to chop it up on people, politics, and pleasure. And you are always welcome to join the Chop Shop, where we chop it up. Good morning are in orders. Good mornings are in order. I got to start with Shauna. She was first this morning. Shauna, good morning to you, Shauna. Thank you very much. And Tonika was second. How you doing, Tonika? Good to see you. Good morning. And Big Ed was third. How you doing, Eddie? What's up, Mr. Avery? How you doing, sir? Good morning, Tracy. What up, Daryl? Daryl's been holding me down for a long time. William Rice, Indianapolis is in the house. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Welcome back to the last honest place in America. Did anyone get a chance to see, pardon me, did anyone get a chance to see the interview? It was on Megyn Kelly's show. She does a show on Fox News. Other than that, I mean, there's no reason why you would have known. But there has been, it's being reported, and again, I first got this from Fox News, that a man who, it looks like this man was the lover of Omar Mateen, has come forward. And he's come forward to say, among other things, that Omar Mateen was, he was confused, he had many issues. And this is something that, was with him. His wife knew that he was gay. The hell? I saw an image of the man, and I'm hoping that he had some type of some type of disguise going. I hope the image that I saw of him is not how he actually looks, because that would be terrible. I mean, dude looks like a real life version of that movie Clown. Have you seen any clips for that movie? It's a horror movie, so if you're not into those kind of things, haven't seen it, but from the clips I saw, he looks like the Clown. Horrible. The Supreme Court has just made everybody a lot safer. The Supreme Court has just ruled in favor of the police state. I'll say it again. The Supreme Court has just ruled in favor of the police state. And shout out to Sotomayor, because she basically has decided that she ain't having it. And what many people are calling a powerful dissent to the Supreme Court ruling, that took a look at the limits that the U.S. Constitution places on police misconduct. Basically, Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor just went off. The name of the case, the decision is Utah versus Strief, I believe, Strieff, in which the court decided in a 5-3 vote. And what they decided is basically that if a police officer unlawfully, which means illegally, pulls you over, okay, and let's say they're harassing you for no reason whatsoever, just based upon their hunch, their stereotype, their lens, their implicit bias, that if they search your car and they find something that's incriminating, something illegal, that they can use that against you in a court of law. Previous to that, it was sort of like, what was it, the poison fruit? Like, yeah, the police might find evidence, but if they go through the process in a manner that which is just not by the letter of the law, that is illegal, right, that is unreasonable, well, they can't use any of that stuff against you. Now, at least with this case precedent, that's all going to change. Sotomayor, she basically said, listen, you got some folks out there who seem to be routinely the targets of these kind of police assumptions. What about them? What about them? The man at the center of the case, his name was Edward Strief. And he had been stopped by police officers who had a hunch that he was engaged in drug activity. Now, what does that mean, a hunch? Hunch means we don't have any real evidence. But you know what? You see this motherfucker over here, man? Wait. Why is he looking at us? Why? Now he's not looking at us. Wait. Why is he just looking straight like that while he's driving? Why are his hands on the wheel? Something must be suspicious here, okay? So now an officer's implicit bias, his stereotypes, his hunches can now lead to an unlawful search or seizure. But when they search you, if they find anything, they can use that against you. Is that fair? Do you agree with the Supreme Court? I mean, this is something that, really cuts to the very heart of the issues that the black community has been having with police. Okay, this is like that face-to-face contact, that initial contact. So now what I don't understand is if the Supreme Court is going to say, okay, well, listen, yeah, you did this wrong. Okay, it was illegal. It was unlawful. But basically what they're saying is that the ends justify the means. The ends justify the means. And I think that's a bad paradigm, a bad dynamic between, in many cases, law enforcement and then communities that have had historical issues with the way law enforcement conducts themselves and the way that it interacts with its citizens. This is huge. This ruling was just Monday. The Supreme Court determined that the drugs. Let me go back to Edward Streif. So Edward Streif had been stopped by police officers on a hunch that he was engaged in drug activity. But those officers didn't have any real reasonable suspicion that he actually was. Okay? Heretofore, that kind of reasonable suspicion was required by the Constitution for investigative stops. Sotomayor says, listen, in searching for law breaking, the officer in the case himself broke the law. Again, in searching for lawmaking, Sotomayor, Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor, she says that the officer in the case himself broke the law. But, I mean, listen, we want to get the bad guys off the streets, don't we? You want to stop the drugs from going into your neighborhood, don't you? Well, sometimes you got to crack a few constitutional eggs. How do you feel about this? Okay, so basically, let's get back to Edward Streif, Utah man. He gets pulled over by police officers, right? And he had been doing nothing wrong whatsoever. So the police, they run his driver's license through the system, and they notice that he had a minor traffic warrant for an unpaid ticket. That means that the officers could check for contraband, which they did. Does this sound familiar? Has this ever happened to you? It happened to me, Cincinnati police officers. Dude pulled me over and then wanted to challenge me, literally. I bet you don't have car insurance. I'm looking at this dude like, Negro, I'm not going to bet you. Do what you got to do. That's what I ended up telling the dude. I'm not betting you. Make your phone calls. Do what you got to do. Then he came back, seems you do. Yeah, I did. I do now. So they run his driver's license. Notice he's got a minor traffic warrant for an unpaid ticket. They check him for contraband. Once they do, they find methamphetamines in his pocket, which provided the basis for an arrest and a later charge of drug possession. Supreme Court said all that evidence is admissible. Doesn't matter how they get it. What's the term they used? Good faith mistakes. Yeah, that's how your Supreme Court justices are now classifying when a police officer unlawfully detains you, unlawfully searches you, and then when he finds something, hey, it's all good. It justifies everything that happened up to that point because they found methamphetamines. So you're telling me that the sum total worth of the Constitution, which we've been taught is so important, the U.S. Constitution, it protects us. It's a special document, right? That you're going to leverage all of that for some methamphetamines? Your Supreme Court at work. How do you feel about that this morning? How do you feel about that? Listen, if I'm a police officer, what that tells me is that the highest court of the land wants me to find the drugs, find the contraband, find something dirty on these individuals, basically make my suspicions come to fruition about these individuals, and it's all good. Good morning. Welcome back to the new America, right? Where police officers, poisonous fruit? What you mean poisonous fruit? There are no illegal searches and seizures, basically, is what they're saying. Because even when they don't find something, they could have found something based upon their professional suspicions, right? That is deep, folks. That is deep. What do you think about that? That is deep. Good morning. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the Nathan Ivey Show, broadcasting live